Welcome back. It is the FNBO Fridays in the Field. I'm Susan Littlefield, and it's being brought to you by the Great Big Small Bank as we head to the east coast of Nebraska, as it's like to be called, and check out what's happening with the crop since we were here just roughly 6 weeks ago. Quentin Connealy joins us once again, as when we were here last, the crop wasn't even out of the ground. We walked through and saw a few seeds that were getting ready to poke through, that is. But now the crops look absolutely amazing with some wonderful timely rains, and this is the fun time of the year when you get to see the fruition of all the work that you've done. And let's talk about where we're at, because corn was nowhere near out of the ground 6 weeks ago, and it looks amazing.
Right, yeah, we got really lucked out on the corn here. Everything's coming up nice. Corn emergence is great, considering we planted in some drier conditions, but overall, we got little spotty rains here and there, and we're looking pretty solid.
I would say since then, I mean, you've had some decent rains. You had just 30 hundredths earlier. Timely wise, I mean, what are you looking for when you're going to have to put your irrigations out?
Usually aim for around that 4th of July, the week before we start putting it out, getting everything ready. So it's right around that 4th of July, it seems like it always shuts off. So we get all we can now and then get ready to water here in July.
As we pulled up, we saw the planter back out again, so you've got some replant that you need to do.
Yep, just some little potholes for beans and a little bit of spraying issues here and there, but just emergence isn't real great on the beans, being a little bit later, so we're gonna go get a little bit on the edges and potholes.
Well, Mother Nature hasn't been too nice when it's been to cooler temperatures at night and during the day. It hasn't been the most optimal spring growing conditions as of yet.
Right, yeah, we got lucky. The corn came out of the ground good, but the beans are kind of all over the place. We had a little bit of crust on there, so the little spotty rains kind of helped bust that, and the beans are looking better now, but we still got a little ways to go on those.
Any other struggles you've had with the beginning of this planting season?
I don't think so. It was a smooth planting season. I think we got started April 21st and finished May 23rd on some no-till beans, and they actually worked in pretty good, so they're popping up. And all the beans we planted finished last Tuesday on beans on a little 20 acres of mud, and they're already popping up. So.
And you got, I think what's so unique is, as for our listeners that don't know, you're really right along the Missouri River. So your crops have got a variety of different soil types that you have to plant in. How much adjusting do you have to do in what you're doing in planting these crops?
Yeah, it does a lot of down pressure. We got to watch that, get into the soft areas and the different soils. So watching sand to make sure you're not getting too deep and it covers it up. And then the mud, we just got to kind of push it down in there a little bit and make sure everything's firm. So a little bit of variance, but we've done it long enough, we're kind of getting used to, you kind of know where the spots are.
And you have a couple of varieties too, because you do have no-till and then you've got some conventional too, correct?
Yes, yeah, mainly conventional tillage, but we're working on a little bit of more no-till, just especially in our sandier areas and spots where we can make it work. I kind of like that no-till and saving fuel right now.
Yeah, no kidding with that price of what that is. But let's talk about that, the process of having two different varieties of fields, and as you start to lean more towards no-till, do you see some of these other fields that have been conventional eventually switching that way as well?
I hope so. If we can get it all comes down to harvest. If you can get everything harvested without rutting up there too, it's a good start. And then just going from there, if the field's looking good coming out of fall and we get everything spread and fertilized, I don't see any reason not to.
Besides fuel savings, what intrigues you about having no-till fields?
That's a good question. They're not quite as pretty as the tillage field because you can make them look like gardens, but it's kind of cool to see that and save hours off the tractor and fuel. So that's probably our perk right now.
But obviously your fields are absolutely gorgeous right now as we look at the ones just behind us. What are some of your goals for this growing season?
New stuff, I got moisture probes coming out this week, so we're going to start tracking some water usage and see what we need to use, see what it takes through the growing season. So looking forward to that. Little different kind of fertilizer mixes that we're going to try here with some dry and urea. And then other than that, we'll just see how the watering goes.
Well, Quentin, you really embrace technology and what it has to offer. Talk about the moisture probes a little bit more for us.
Yeah, so we're pretty fortunate here. We catch a lot of rain, so any circles we can save with the pivots or running the irrigation pipe, I think it's all for that. And so I think we got to embrace the technology and work with it and put it where we need it. So
I want to talk about the social media aspect of it, because you've been working hard to share this growing season with all the folks that follow you on all different platforms. For you, why do you like to share this story?
It's kind of my therapy at the end of the day. It's fun, and there's a lot of history here, so we can tell our story, and we need just positive influences out there doing it. So if we're not going to do it, somebody else is, and I don't know, why not? I don't know. I don't sit in the stands very good. I like playing out in the game. So
it's a good way to put it. What types of questions have come at you through social media from folks that see you out here planting and running a farm?
Ooh, that's a good one. No, this one's a history one, and I forgot how many years it was, but I don't know. That's a good question. I put it out there, and the questions are, seems like they're all over the place, but they're usually pretty positive. I think you get a lot of support, and then you get a few naysayers, but the support's usually pretty there. So it's always nice to have somebody in the backfield. So.
And you have a whole group of folks in agriculture that kind of weigh in when you post a video to help answer some of those questions as well.
Yep. Yeah, so it's pretty much just a tight-knit community, and it keeps growing bigger and bigger every year and every growing season, so it's kind of fun. So interacting with people all over the world and showing them what we do here in the east coast of Nebraska.
Let's look at the next 6 weeks before we're back again. Where do you see these crops and the maturity over the next couple weeks?
I think the corn's going to take off really well, and the beans, they got a little ways to go yet, so we'll see how the canopy goes there. But corn's coming along nice. We're getting everything fertilized, post-sprayed here this week in between rains, and it'll just keep shooting up like it has been. So it finally gets some warmer. I think we were in sweatshirts last time we did this.
And it was raining.
Yeah, and it was raining. We caught a rain last night, but now we're in the sun and everything's looking pretty spiffy.
All right, well, that's been another edition of the FNBO Fridays in the Field. I'm Susan Littlefield on the Rural Radio Network.